Thank you, Radio Fool. And without further ado, it is that time, the time you've all been waiting for, the time for our next run. It's FEZ, 80% right now. thearst3rd, please take it away.
Welcome, everybody. My name is thearst3rd, and I'm going to be playing FEZ for you guys today. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. This game starts with a little bit of cutscene, so we'll go ahead and get everyone introduced when we're started. Now, note, see this little picture of Sonic? This was a donation incentive to play as Sonic, and it was met. Thank you guys so much. So you guys are going to see that very soon. But I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the run in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, like I said, I'm thearst3rd. Thank you so much. I'm here with Jokertyf.
What's up, guys?
And Juikuen.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to be commentating my run. And no, you might not see any Sonic right now. That's okay. It'll be very, very quick, very soon. But yeah, so FEZ is a 2D platformer that it looks like it's 2D, but it's actually a 3D platformer, and you'll see what that means really quick. The main game mechanic, which you'll see once we get to the titular FEZ, we unlock the ability to rotate the perspective of the scene and view it from 4 different angles, revealing that it's actually a 3D game the entire time.
Yeah, cue some sort of message about looking at the world in a bigger picture.
So the main sort of way to progress in this game is there are collectibles. There are these cubes, and you'll see for lore reasons, which I'll be honest, I've played this game a million times. I still don't understand. This big cube appears, it explodes into a million pieces, and we got to go run around and put the cube back together. There are several types of cubes that we can get. There's golden cubes, which you get by platforming, and sometimes those golden cubes can be split up into 8 smaller cube bits. Which you'll see throughout the run, as well as anti-cubes, which, rather than platforming, you get those by solving puzzles. Now, this game is so good, by the way. You should go play this game. It's fantastic. But I'm not going to spoil as many puzzles as we can. A lot of the puzzles are basically just solved by pressing buttons on your controller, and you need to figure it out how to do that, which luckily we're not going to spoil too much of here. But in this run, most cubes we get are actually through anti-cubes, just because as a speedrunner, we already know all the puzzles, and so we're going to solve as many as we can.
The puzzles are very difficult. They range from kind of easy to extremely, extremely difficult, and there's even some that have never technically been solved.
Here's the FEZ. Whoa.
We're getting Sonic very soon.
Oh, man. Where'd the FEZ go? What? It's Sonic! Oh my gosh.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. And by the way, huge shout out to Kurzy, who you might know from the Portal 2 community, for making this Sonic sprite mod. He did a few other things, which I'll be talking about later. But, yeah.
Yeah, we posted in the Discord, like, hey, wouldn't this be cool to have at GDQ? And Kurzy was like, okay. And then he made all the sprites in like a day or 2, which is insane.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, so like I said, we get most of our cubes through anti-cubes in this game. And so you're going to notice right off the bat, once I get through this little transition, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in a secret code. And you're going to see this cube appear. And I'm not going to tell you what that secret code is. Again, go play this game yourself. It's really good. So we're starting off the game with a cube for the first thing.
And look, now the village is in 3D.
Whoa, it's 3D the whole time.
The other village is also in 3D, but you just can't rotate to view the other side, so it just looks 2D. Ooh.
So because the sort of 2D, 3D aspect, we can rotate our perspective in really interesting ways that we'll use in the speedrun, and you'll see that later. But right off the bat, the very first thing I'm actually going to do is drop to my death and fall in front of this door. And the reason I do that is because it starts the door opening, which I go back there later. So once I get there later, I don't need to watch that again.
Turns out you can do a lot of things in this game when you're dead, more than you can do in real life.
It was a design decision to kind of make the game as least punishing as possible, just so you could play it at your own pace.
Absolutely. So here are the bits. These small cubes form into bigger golden cubes.
And once you collect 8 of them, you go into a little animation where Gomez collects the golden cube that spawns from those 8 bits.
What?
So right here, we're going to do a trick called animation skip.
I kind of messed it up. Oh, whatever.
Well, yeah.
I messed up entering one of the cubes codes, but
Anytime Gomez collects a collectible, there's a 5-second animation that can be canceled after the first 1.5 seconds or so. And if you cancel it while you're also in the hitbox of another item, you'll pick up the second item without going through any animation at all, which saves a little bit of time.
so a lot of
That was one of the first tricks we ever discovered.
yeah. So a lot of the things that that we do in this game, there's not really that much speed you can build. It's pretty easy to reach the max speed just by holding the direction. So a lot of the tricks that we're going to do are just kind of small movement optimizations. Like you saw me sort of climb this tower backwards, which looks a little weird, but it's just a slightly less distance that I end up traveling overall. And so small tricks like that throughout the entire run really add up. So this room that we're entering is the first hub world in the game, and you'll see this cube at the top that basically lets you teleport to the other hub worlds. There are 5 hub worlds in this game, and in the any % route, we actually only see 2 of them because there's just enough cubes that we can get, and it's less loading screens and such. So if you like what you see here, have I mentioned you should go play this game because we don't even show off most of it here. You still get to experience a lot.
There's so much.
You need a total of 32 cubes and anti-cubes to beat the game, and there are a total of 64 of them in the game in total. So you only need to collect half the stuff, and so what you're seeing here is only half the game.
And we kind of collect a little bit less in a way, being that we're speedrunners, and you'll see that eventually.
Now, what the heck did I just do there? You guys want to explain that?
Yeah, so there's a trick in this game called perspective warping, where if you're in the air between 2 walls and you rotate so that the walls are between you and the camera, you'll get pushed all the way to the back of both of them. So you can traverse a long distance pretty much instantaneously. We'll see some better examples coming up in the next few rooms, but it's a key mechanic that allows us to traverse through rooms way faster than intended.
Perspective shifting in general just allows you to cross distances in seconds that if you were trying to walk it would take much longer.
Absolutely. You can see there were some funky perspective shenanigans going on there. So this next room is kind of interesting. We're supposed to put these cubes in the right spot. And if I just sort of throw this one cube at the other cube and then rotate and rotate back, you might not have noticed, but one of those cubes actually got shifted over by a spot for some reason. I actually don't know why. But it helps assemble this shape that we need to assemble a little faster.
There were a lot of small glitches in the game. Speedrunners, actually, we got to QA the most recent version of the game, and that's why there's actually a speedrun mode in this game. Yeah. In general, the developers gave that to us kind of like as a thank you.
So yeah, that jump where we just collected that bit there, that was another example of perspective warp that was pretty clean.
Yeah.
We went all the way from the left side to the right side without really doing anything.
It's a very visible example.
Mm-hmm.
So again, another small optimization. I could have just walked from those vines all the way to the left in that door, but by rotating my perspective, it sort of flattens the entire 3D space into a 2D plane, which is, of course, how, that's the main game mechanic, is the 3D world looks 2D. And by changing which 2D plane is getting squished, you can save a lot of time.
Yeah, so this room is a whole bunch of perspective warps that look pretty cool. But it would be a good time for a short donation if we have one.
Okay, you bet. I have one here from Merca, or they donated $15 and said, I love AGDQ. Let's see those Vampire Knight cutscenes. And then there are several less than 3s. Thank you, Merca.
Awesome, thank you. So right here, we're about to do a glitch where it's called a fall cancel, where I fall to my death in front of an unopened door, but it turns out you can just press up and you get back to life and open the door.
Again, you can do a lot of things in this game when you're dead.
Man, I remember when I discovered that, it was the craziest thing ever. Like, whoa, hold up.
Yeah. So this game has been shown at ATDQ before, ATDQ 2016, but quite a few things have changed since then, including in just the past few months, a groundbreaking new glitch, oh boy, has been discovered, which allows us to get extra cubes in pretty precise scenarios, and you'll see one of them coming up really soon. It's called an 8-bit anti-cube, or 8-back for short. And it'll actually allow us to change the route just in general of the run. Like, normally I wouldn't come into this room this early, but that's all right. It's pretty technical, so Jokertyf, do you want to start explaining that?
Yeah, sure. So you need two things to happen for to collect an 8-back. The first one is Gomez needs to have 8 bits collected, and the second is you need to do an animation skip, which is what we mentioned earlier. And if the second item in that animation skip is an anti-cube, you'll essentially duplicate it. The real technical explanation is over my head even, but I'll explain what we're doing as we're doing it. So in this room, we're going to collect our 7th bit, and then get on this platform and die to collect our 8th bit, of course. And when we're in this state, we're going to spawn an anti-cube on top of this golden cube, and then collect the golden cube, and then do an animation skip on the anti-cube. And you'll notice on the right-hand side, we got cubes 10, 11, and 12 at the exact same time, when we really only should have gotten 2.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, but that's just the 8 bits that we got. Well, not really, because we get the 8 bits here. So we get 4 cubes for the price of 3. Mm-hmm. And so we're able to skip some stuff later.
It's kind of weird. Basically, we get the golden cube as if it was an anti-cube, and then later we get another golden cube. TLDR, at the end of the day, we get a free anti-cube. It's a little simplification, but we get a free anti-cube at the end of the day. So, again, that's a massive, massive discovery.
It was discovered by accident when people were making a task.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to the person who found that, Wabmiar, for discovering that by complete accident while tasking. And also, he made a great task that you can go watch, FEZ Any Percent Task. Everyone go watch it because it's really cool.
80% is kind of funny for FEZ because technically this game can be beaten within like 3 minutes. But we kind of decided as a community to put in some arbitrary rules so we can actually have a full run.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up in this run is a cycle. It used to be really insane to get, but now, since because of 8-backs, we actually skip a bit here, so it's slightly easier. We'll see if we can get it. But in any case, while doing this run will be another good time for a short donation.
Okay, I'll give you one here that we received. It's $20 for PCF from Perpetual Sheep. They say, glad to see my friend Jokertyf commentating on the big stage. Good luck, thearst3rd.
Thank you. Yes, that was the fast
We got
cycle.
it.
I'm
Nice.
very, very glad to pull off that cycle at GDQ. It's not easy. And I'd say we probably have time for another donation or two in the next room.
All right, awesome. I've got $200 here from Big Chill that says less than 3. And I don't know if you're going to notice a pattern here or not, but I've got $15 from Callum that says less than 3.
Thank you guys so much. So it's funny, in this room, I normally use the FEZ as like a visual cue, but with the Sonic mod, I don't have a FEZ on, so I have to kind of do that by muscle memory.
That was another quick perspective warp there. We have to jump to make sure our head is between the 2 walls for it to work.
So this room is one of the more tricky rooms to learn. A lot of the decisions in this game about do you rotate left or do you rotate right seem like they don't matter, but sometimes it actually does matter because of how Gomez interacts with walls along the sort of axis that's being flattened. And that room right there with the mushrooms, basically, every single rotation kind of matters that I do it in that exact order, or you can't really solve the room in the same fast way.
Yeah, the momentum it's kind of awkward when you're changing perspectives because you carry the same momentum, but now you're facing a different direction.
Yeah.
So thearst, you just jumped on some invisible platforms.
That's a good thing to point out. I was thinking I might mention that. as a speedrunner, we already know all the puzzle solutions. But as a casual player, there are some visible platforms, and it's up to you to figure out how to find them. I suggest figuring it out. It's very cool.
Another cool perspective warp there. We're actually not sure if that one even saves time, but it's just a swag strat, so we have to go for it.
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same speed as just walking to the left, but it's really cool, so I like to do it.
It feels fast, and that's what matters.
So one thing I haven't mentioned is every time we do a rotation, it sort of pauses the world for a small amount of time. And so you want to limit the amount of rotations that you do. Anyways, the second 8-back in the run is coming up right now in this room. So let's hope I can get both of them.
If not, we have a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8-backs are the only trick in the run that if you fail, you actually have to do something else. Every other trick, you just, lose a bit of time.
Cool, we got them both. We got both 8-backs at AGDQ. That's good.
Awesome.
And what's funny is, so there's a small glitch that we sort of get as a bonus for getting that 8-back. Because the golden cube doesn't get collected until the next room for technical reasons, we actually get to abuse another glitch where, let's see if I can get it. Boom. I actually did a mid-air jump right there because I was technically on the ground when I got the golden cube. And so now that I'm in the air, the game didn't notice that I'm not on the ground anymore. And it lets me do a mid-air jump, which saves a very little bit of time.
And if you notice, we had to enter this room twice. And that's because the cube is actually shared with another one, or the code that cube uses is actually shared with another one earlier in the run. But somehow, just by exiting and re-entering the room, we can collect it kind of twice.
Yep, exactly.
There are codes that require you to go outside of the game, and the developers, they added an alternative just in case you weren't able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of those involve QR codes. So coming up is the observatory climb. It's not a super technical section and would probably be a good time for some donations.
Okay. Here's a $10 donation that we received from Lemon Carrots, and they said, "My dad quit smoking 20 years ago, so I'm donating for him. Lung cancer screening is so wildly important." Yeah, thank you for the thoughts, Lemon Carrots, and congratulations to your dad. And then I don't know if we necessarily had like a $5 train, but more like a heart train. But I do have $25 here and $50 here from Val and Seth F, respectively, with them both saying less than 3. Thank you for those.
Keep it up, guys.
And then I have a $500. Oh, should I keep going?
No, go ahead.
Okay, $500 here in the name of Paul, and it says, "This donation is being made for Paul. Paul is currently fighting a very aggressive form of brain cancer. Thank you to the Prevent Cancer Foundation for your time and effort. I hope that someday in the future, no one else will need to endure this illness."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm super honored to be a part of this great cause, this event.
So this room, you might think you need to go over there to the winch and, align these vines, but turns out, nope, you could just kind of climb up them normally.
Yeah, even once you go over there, you can sort of make them line up. But even casually, I figured out you can just climb on them like that, which is really funny.
I think one of the things that makes FEZ a great speedrun is just how important the movement is. It can get really tight in some places, and especially when you watch your runs back, you notice you lose a lot of time just based on tiny movement issues.
Yeah. Like one thing is just jumps. If you jump too high or higher than you need to, you lose a tiny bit of time. And also, we haven't mentioned this, but there's a movement tech called like a reverse corner jump and a corner boost. And each time that you don't do one of those and instead just do a normal corner get up animation, you lose like half a second. And you might think, oh, that's just half a second, but over the course of a whole run, that adds up.
Yep, it does. Ooh, okay, I thought I missed that jump. What? Sometimes Gomez likes to grab on vines that are very far away, which is always kind of silly when it happens.
Shout out to Disaster Piece for the awesome music.
Oh yeah, this game has one of my favorite game soundtracks of all game soundtracks.
Speaking of sound, I don't want to spoil the puzzle.
Oh, all right,
Yeah.
all right. So this room has one of my favorite examples of using perspective in the speedrun. So you're going to see I'm going to jump from this tree and then quickly rotate and then jump all the way to this other side of this dock. Oops, I missed that. But so you can see basically I went from the tree all the way to the dock instantly. Here I'm going to do the same thing in reverse. You can see I went from the dock all the way to the door basically instantly, just by changing which perspective I was viewing the level at. I think that room's probably one of the best examples in the game.
When routing this game, it's fun to find little trinkets that are on the ground you can stand on or stand behind that you can change your whole perspective and travel the whole map.
Didn't quite make these ladders. These ladders are on a cycle, and if you're very fast, you can make it without needing to wait.
Oh,
Almost missed that, and if I miss that, I land in the water, which is the worst possible outcome, because like Juikuen mentioned, this game is not punishing. If you fall, if you take any fall damage or whatever, this game just puts you back where you were. It's no big deal. But landing in the water, you don't take fall damage, and you just land in the water, and that's the worst spot in the whole game for that to happen. You have to climb all the way back up.
you have to go through the ladder sequence again, which is
Yeah.
just so... So as a speedrun, you... Like, it's counterintuitive. You would rather die than survive
Yeah.
in that instance. So this is our last full cube. I mean, it's an anti-cube, but after this, we just have one more bit to collect.
This door he's going through is actually a shortcut door. The world is very expansive, so they added these kind of shortcuts so that you can go back and forth. Once you visit certain places once, it activates that door. If you visited the other place with the other door once, then you can use those doors to go back and forth quickly.
Yep, and it's very convenient that there's one that takes you right back to the beginning where there were doors you couldn't go through before, but you can go through now that we have more cubes.
All right, does anyone see our last bit?
Oh, we
Come
have.
on, put it in
just-
chat. We need to find one
see it?
more.
Oh, do you see one? You guys see a bit? Oh man!
Gotta go fast.
Bam! We got it. And that is 32 cubes, which is all that we need to open a door that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Dot
It's
says,
right
now,
here.
now we can open that door you saw earlier. What door?
And now we have about a minute and a half or so of cutscenes, so now is a great time for some more donations.
Okay. Here we go. I have a $25 donation from Neon Uwu who says, Stray has a meowing button. What's not to love? One of my favorite games this year. Shout out to my cats, Muji and Fizz. And thank you, Neon. Yeah, they're referring to upcoming bonus game that'll be featured later today if we raise enough money for the incentive. That's a Stray any percent run. A few other people chiming in on that. Here's Static Rodent, a $50 donation saying bonus game, bonus game, bonus game. I also have $20 here from Sam Jones saying best of luck, thearst. Get those cubes.
Thank you
And
so much.
And a $50 donation here from Craig Allenson saying, I don't have a lot of time to watch GDQ this year, but I had to wake up for FEZ. A great game and a great cause from any angle. Nice, thank you, Craig. The professor here with $5 must have all bonus games. I agree. And Kaiser with $25 saying, more GDQ, let's go. Vayu donating $5 saying more donations equals more AGDQ equals less cancer.
All right.
Ooh.
So
Made it to
this
the moon.
This is the moon, and how they implement low gravity is that every single time scale for animations and velocity changes and stuff is just scaled down. So So as a result, like, see how these corner like get-ups are super, super slow. And as a consequence of that, rotations are also super slow. And we want to avoid doing them as much as possible. There is a strat here called turnless, where if we make it to the top in a certain cycle, we can avoid rotating at all. I don't think we're going to get it here.
I think
but...
I already missed it, but that's all right.
But yeah, it's always, turnless is a pretty hard trick, and it's right at the end of the run, so it's always a clincher for sure.
But you can see I almost had enough time to make it, but not quite.
You could also
anyways,
see
that's
how long
basically
that rotation
FEZ.
was.
And yeah, time doesn't end yet. Time ends in about 70 seconds, I think, from here. And of course, Sonic turns into Tails when it gets inverted.
Oh my god,
that's
it's Tails.
definitely golden. That's definitely
yeah.
golden Sonic.
But I just want to end with a few special shout-outs. So, special shout-out to Kersey Howe for several things. One of them is making the Sonic sprite replacement mod. 2 is looking into the game's code to figure out how 8-backs work, which is the last trick that we've been doing. It's a massive, massive discovery, and without his efforts, we wouldn't have been able to know as well how well they worked and route them, among other things. I also want to give a shout out to Wobmiar, who, as I mentioned, discovered 8-backs by accident while tasking and made an epic task. Go watch it. And then just one final shout out to the entire FEZ community for just being a bunch of wholesome people who are speedrunning this really cute game.
Did the game
and
crash?
have been-
Yeah, the game crashed. Oh no.
No, just kidding, of course. And time is going to end in about 10-ish seconds, and it'll be right when I walk through this last door. And
This is the hardest part of the game.
time.
26:05. That's like really good.
That's a fantastic marathon time. That is
Only 8 seconds.
8
off your
seconds
PB?
off my PB. Wow, that's an incredible run for a
Awesome.
marathon. So thank you all so much for watching. It's a huge honor to be a part of this amazing event.
Yeah, come join the FEZ community. Super chill game. A lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right, keep those claps going in chat, and let's give it up one last time for thearst3rd. That fantastic run of Sonic the FEZ. FEZ any percent. Much appreciated. What a fantastic time. During that run, received a $50 donation here from Wildfire Zero saying, let's extend GDQ and unlock that bonus game. Thanks a bunch for that donation. And we're about to take a quick break here at AGDQ 2023 Online, but we'll be right back in just a moment. And thank you for keeping it tuned right here at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. You're watching AGDQ. I'm Prolix, your host. And up next, we've got a run of Suithaken. The category is 50 levels, and you may have noticed the run estimate is 15 minutes. Now, I'm no chemist, but I did a little math, added that up, and it seems to me this is going to be a super fast-paced run. So I think it's time for me to bring back a little one of my traditions here. I think it's time for awesome donations done quick. What we're going to do is race the runner during their run to make a donation. All right, now I think 15 minutes is a little bit too generous though, so my challenge to you is let's try to get a donation in within the first 10 of those 50 levels, okay? How about that? All right, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna wait until the time begins on the next run. And then once that timer's running, you're going to try to go to gamesdonequick.com/donate, hit the giant donate button below the stream, click the donate button on the Games Done Quick website, however you get there, and start entering in a donation and see if you can get it done before the runner finishes level 10. And now remember, when you're donating, use that form at the bottom to say add an incentive. And what you want to look for is the Vampire Knight watch the cutscenes, okay? Because we are only $125 away from meeting that goal. That's right, I have a $125 alert for you all. We need to just raise that much more to be able to watch the cutscenes during Vampire Knight, which is coming up right after Suithaken. So wait for Suithaken to begin and then race the runner to try to get your donation in. And when you're donating, consider checking out those cutscenes during Vampire Knight. Awesome. Thanks so much. Meanwhile, I just wanted to cover some more donations for you. Here's $50 from Curious Lemur saying, my dad beat prostate cancer last year. It's been a tough road, but he's back to himself now, just in time to turn 70. Here's to a brighter 2023. Yeah, and here's to your dad, Curious Lemur. I have $100 from Philip saying, less than or equal to 2. Thanks, Philip. Excellent. And $25 here from Amy. So happy to see FEZ on its 12th anniversary. The game means so much to me. Less than 3. Oh, and even spelled out for me. Thanks. Thanks so much. Couple donations here regarding Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks that I may as well read for you. A Yarrow Favor donated $5 saying, flippin' defeat Shang Tsung, defeat cancer, yeah. Thank you for that. And D&D Mustard with $100. Always love to see Mortal Kombat in a GDQ. Much love to Elfin Out. And of course, Ketchup, great run. Thank you for that. $25 here from Geldian. Super excited for the Final Fantasy run to watch while at work today. Yeah, that's right. We'll all be cozy with some Final Fantasy VII for quite a while a little bit later on today. All right, everyone, and without further ado, it's time for our next run. Suithaken with Junkyard Dave, the stage is yours.